Hey, it's the God Awful Gospel Hour, and this is a very special episode because we have a very special guest. Trish Smart is with us.
God Awful. God Awful. God Awful.
Trish Smart. It's been weeks of coordination. We made it happen.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
finally here. Oh my God.
This sounds like the intro to my evil origin
This
story.
is the most famous guest we've ever had on our dumb show.
I had like a small internet pop.
That's Carmina Burana. It's actually a bunch of monks doing confession of the horrible things they did at their abbey. They wrote a secret song and it was hidden for centuries and they found it.
It sounds beautiful.
And made an opera out of it. It's just Latin dudes going, I fucked a girl. I masturbated.
I thought
should
about
not
boobs.
have told anyone about it.
Wow, so it's the pedophile anthem.
It's every cardinal ever. So you are, there's this basic kind of pumpkin spice girl ethos of, she's my spirit animal. But you're like your own spirit animal. You're the first person I've met that's their own spirit animal from everything I've researched about you.
You know, I actually met this homeless guy once in a small town in West Virginia, and he was completely insane, and
That was me. I remember.
he had an upside down cross tattoo on his chest, and I was like, that's my spirit animal.
You went to a rave in Houston recently?
Yeah, I
What was that?
did. Dude, I've been to so many raves here. Like, I love Texas.
You've been
I
to
didn't
any
know.
Baltimore raves in the 90s? Because we were there.
I went to I was a child in the 90s. But did you guys ever go to Starscape?
No, we did Fever, Buzz.
Nice.
There
Do you
was-
know about Starscape?
Uh-uh.
So it was under the what was the bridge that just got shit? The Francis
Key
Scott.
Bridge.
Francis Scott
Yeah,
Key
the
Bridge.
Francis
Yeah.
Scott Key Bridge.
Yeah.
It was under that bridge.
Nice.
And it was the most lawless place in the world. It was my first rave. I was 15 the first time I went to it. And it was like, 2007? And it was like so lawless. Like, there was no police. It was just everything was so out in the open. Just like, how is this legal?
Yeah.
How is this happening? Like, I went with my friend and we only had $10 and it was $60 to get in. So we got nitrous balloons
Yeah.
for $5 and then resold them and then
Oh,
just went
yeah.
up and down the line, bought shit, resold shit. We were like, we have more money than we could need to get in. We left with a backpack full of cash.
You're like Sarah Pauli from Go. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
Stephen Hawking at Epstein's Island.
I thought about that and I was like, like all the women that haven't come out, right? And I was like, which lady didn't say anything about what happened to her and Stephen Hawking?
Which old Jews are nervous waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like,
Yeah.
I know I did something. And somebody's going to fucking say something eventually.
So around here, our 15-year-old going to their first rave was this thing called Airport.
Yeah.
So out at the old airport, they would just 7,000 kids would just go out to a huge rave out there. And that went on for probably around that time, like late 90s, early 2000s. Everybody was going to the airport raves.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like that was like a real rite of passage in like the late 90s, early 2000s was for everybody to go be 15 years old at a rave.
That sounds amazing. I think here, the raves just seem more cleaner than Baltimore. Because in Baltimore, if you go to a warehouse rave, you're gonna get out, you're gonna park your car. Some dude's gonna be like, "Can I watch your car?" You give him money because
Yeah.
if you don't give him money, he's punching out your window in front of you. And here, I think one of them had a fucking valet.
That's why I never watched The Wire, because everybody's like, The Wire is good. I'm like, I know Baltimore sucks. I'm aware.
I don't need to watch 25,000 hours of
I've
Wire.
seen Baltimore sucking in real life.
Yeah. But it's been great, man. The rave scene here is so fun. It's a essential part of my cardio routine from living on the road for so long
Yeah.
to go and dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been watching the sunrise from under a bridge here with a bunch of fucking tweakers.
Oh my God.
And I love it. I'm like,
When we were 15, we were skateboarders in high school, and
Yeah.
then the rave culture bled over, and we're like, you can't wear big pants. We're the ones who wear big pants. Big pants are made by Jason Lee, by Blind Skateboards, not Genco. What are
Don't
you
tell
doing?
him where to buy it.
But it was all the skaters ended up being ravers because we all sold drugs already anyway. So it
Yeah,
was
I
like,
mean,
this
I
is-
started out going to punk rock shows.
Yeah.
And I like loved just the atmosphere, the don't know what's gonna happen, the chaos. And then my first rave, it was like that on steroids.
Did you
know,
go
like
to Circle Jerks at Stubbs last month?
no,
They were there with the Descendants and the Adolescents. It was awesome.
that sounds amazing.
It was
Yeah.
fat, old
Yeah.
punk dudes with their wives like rubbing her back, going, "Thanks for coming out with me, honey." And I'm like, "I see you being gay. You're not in the mosh pit. You're holding your wife."
You have diabetes.
And then all the divorce guys are in the mosh pit.
Did you do Napster? Did you download music? Did you do any of that stuff?
LimeWire.
You were
Yeah.
old enough then, yeah.
That was LimeWire, yeah.
I wonder if the Napster guy was like a selfish kid, and his mom was like, "Stop being selfish. You need
You
to
have
share,
Yeah.
share more."
I
And then he
crashed
grew up and
several
started
of our
sharing
computers.
everything, and they were like, "Stop sharing so much." And he was like, "But my mom said share."
Too much of a good thing. You piss off Metallica, and all of a sudden you're getting sued.
So this podcast is brought to you by IHateTrishSmart.com.
Yeah, yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
I've just purchased a wonderful headpiece from Trish.
Nice.
I just Venmo'd you while we were outside.
Sick.
Quality products, pictures of a young lady taking little butt duties that you painted. My wife saw your paintings and she said they're good and you should charge more. She's a painter.
Those are just for the prints.
Okay.
Yeah. But so it's funny because like at each show, you know, before the Kill Tony Pop, I did get paid like pretty well for some of them. And some of them it was just like, I'm broke and you can talk me down. And I would pitch it like, listen, I get a special. You could buy a house. Like this could be a really serious investment.
Or if you die.
Yeah. Or if I die. Yeah. I did say that before. I was like, whichever one comes first, you know, like you've heard about what I talk about in stand up.
Yeah.
We don't have much long.
Did you do your logo, the sad clown thing? Who did that?
So I did that. I do like one of my older jokes is I talk about being a clown in Las Vegas when I didn't have any money. And the picture, so under the hat brim is a photo of me as a clown, and then the clown logo is traced from that.
I like it. It follows me around the room like the Mona Lisa. It's a good logo. It's always looking at you wherever you are. So you saved me at Shakespeare's before you came over and talked to me outside. There was this guy that cornered me. The guy with the weird handmade shawl. He was talking to y'all after.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He was from the state of Jefferson in California, which is like a autonomous collective. Like they don't believe in municipal pipes or anything.
Okay.
They all make their own food and everything.
I'm happy that you like got through that of saying that with him because like I would have
I
just
was
zoned
just
out, looked
hoping
into
that
my
you
own
would
narcissism.
Come and give me a cigarette. And I was like, get me the fuck out of here. And then he went away when you guys showed up. But he was cool for a second. I was talking to him, and then all of a sudden he was like, I could make an AR-15 out of these parts and go shoot up 6th Street right now. And here's how you put dynamite on water pipes and ruin the water supply for California. And I was like, okay, you're like hippie Lex Luthor. What do you? Why do you? Are you a minute about this? Why are you at this mic?
Usually I'm the person that those people come and stick to. So
Ugh.
I guess you were
Also
me.
me, like, and also after the Kill Tony Pop, like every time I go to sign up now, I have to touch so many sweaty hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be Howie Mandel. Just be like,
I try to give them the elbow, but they come in hot, dude. They don't give a fuck.
Did you have that desperate guy come and try to interview you for his TikTok show?
Okay, he did, and it turns out that he didn't press record, right? And it was actually
Nice.
like a pretty good interview because he shoved the camera on my face, and I was like, "Whoa, like what's happening?" And his question was, "How do you feel about changing the way that people feel about women in comedy?"
What the hell?
And I was like,
on the
"What?"
podcast you were on, the guy was like, you're actually funny. I was like, dude.
Oh my god! So then
What?
he shoves the camera in my face, and then he realizes that his question's stupid, and he was like, "You don't have to answer that." And I was like, "No, I'll take this one." I was like, "Anyone who had a perception about women that was different before seeing me is just dumb." And he
Yeah.
goes, "Well, that was my perception." I was like, "Case closed, dude." Like, I mean, you know, it's like subjective. It's whatever you like. Like I think women are funnier, but I wouldn't push that on somebody else. Just like if I didn't think they were funny, I wouldn't like tell everyone that all the time.
It's Bill Burr. It doesn't matter what's dangling between your legs. If you're funny, it's
Yeah,
fine.
just be
It's
it.
you have to be undeniable.
Yeah.
That was what he said to
And there was a guy once. I got in a fight with the entire Pittsburgh comedy scene once. That's kind of a long story, but basically
That'll
what
happen.
happened was
Speaking of Bill Burr, didn't he do the same thing?
yeah.
Fuck you.
This guy commented on one of my posters and was like, "Women aren't funny," and I was like, "If you don't like dick jokes, stop being one." And I just everything he's saying, I was blowing it out of the park, and people were sharing the thing and like, support. And then one of the moderators took it down for some bullshit reason, and I got in a fight with the place. And what's funny is when I got to Austin, some guy comes up to me and goes, "Are you Trish Smart?" I was like, "Yeah." This was like before To Kill Tony. And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I saw you get in a fight with the entire Pittsburgh comedy scene online." And I was
That's
like,
what you were famous for
Yeah, I was
before?
like, hell yeah. Well, actually, oh man, so funny.
So
Like,
before the
since
Kill
I've been
Tony
in,
pop, there was the Pittsburgh fight pop.
dude, there was a lot of pops because not like that, but when I got to Austin, there's so many comics coming in and out that I get recognized for like random shows because I've done them all over the world. And this one guy was like, he goes, "Have you been to Oklahoma?" I was like, "Yeah, I've done Bricktown comedy." And he goes, "Nah, did you do Margarita Island?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I did," because I didn't have any money to leave Oklahoma one time. So I called every single show that was happening. Like, I didn't care what it was, like
Right,
poetry, karaoke, anything. I was like,
Just
"Can I come
grinding
sell
it out.
merch?"
Yeah.
And I did a rap battle where I didn't rap, and they
Yeah.
didn't turn off the smoke machine or the laser beams or anything. I sold $500 worth of shit. It was amazing, but I cried in their parking lot for a long time before the show. And it was like, someone recognized me for that. I was like, hell yeah.
You had to lose yourself in the moment.
Yeah.
Mom
Rap
spaghetti.
battle, yeah.
I've had that once. I threw up outside of a pizza shop before a show, and I was like, it's my Eminem moment, except for I'm in fucking Arizona and it's a pizza place. You only get one slice. Okay.
Do not lose the. So have you gotten the itch to leave?
Oh,
here?
every day.
Yeah.
It's not like I love Austin.
You said 9 months on the other show I heard.
Well, okay.
It's like you get pregnant every time and then you get sick of it.
If I do 9 months, the last time I lived somewhere for 9 months was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So that it would still be the longest I've lived anywhere in the last 7 years. But yeah, I mean, I'll take down the vagabond status if I stay longer than
I mean,
9
there's
months.
a lot here. There's enough.
I love it here. Like
work.
I love it so much. I do. Cause like the reason why, I mean, not originally, but I kept traveling so hard because I got to do so much more stand up. Like
Yeah.
I get to do an hour at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Tons of shows, but in Austin, I do an hour at 1 a.m. every Tuesday when there's no more signups left on the sheet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can do whatever I want. So I would say the money is a little bit less than going, because I was going to like small towns and
Yeah, you were closing out Shakespeare's 2-3 Sundays ago, and I was sitting. I didn't even know you were going to be there.
yeah,
I was waiting for the show to end so the mic would start
yeah.
because I was on the mic. And then they were like, Trish Smart. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, cool. And then you were like, you pointed at me. You were like, can I pick on you? And I was like, hell yeah. And then you had all these awesome roast things. And you were asking me about rock bottom, if I had ever hit rock bottom. And I was like, yeah, I fell asleep. I woke up next to a dumpster. And you were like, where? And I was like, Mugshots, which is it was a comedy bar in Austin.
Yeah.
Everyone used to go to Velveeta Room after they'd go to Mugshots because they had 3 bathrooms. They had a men's room, a women's room, and a bathroom with just a bunch of mirrored counter space.
Nothing
It
to
was
see here.
obviously not going to the bathroom at all.
Yeah. It's like, wow, someone really cares about how all the angles.
They had a razor dispenser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole back of Mugshots was just a dumpster.
So you fell asleep out there?
No, I was remembering a story my friend told me. So a coworker, I was just trying to think of the most entertaining answer. So a coworker of mine stabbed someone. I work at a place that does second
This is
chance.
starting in a really good place.
Yeah. I work at a place that does second chance employment. They hire people out of jail.
Yeah.
So he got in a fight that turned into a knife fight, and he killed somebody and had to go to jail. And then when he got out, he had to do Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, and anger management. And because he spoke Spanish, he had to translate for the Spanish speakers. And everybody's going around saying what their rock bottom was. And there was a guy, an old Mexican dude, and they were like, what was your rock bottom? And in Spanish, he was like, Desperte cerca de la basura. He was behind it. I woke up by a dumpster behind it, and he was translating. He was like, I woke up and there was a man standing over me putting his pants back on, and my butt hurt. And he had to translate. And then he was like, and then I passed back out. And then I woke back up, and he was there again with a friend, and they were both putting their pants back on. I was like, your rock bottom was getting your bottom rocked.
For those
it
of you
Ian
listening, my
Finance?
mouth is
Jesus.
wide open.
It sounds like an Ian Finance story.
Holy shit. So you just oh, wow.
So yeah, I thought.
Oh
that
my
was,
God. Yeah, that's the worst rock bottom.
I mean, I'm sure I've woken up by a dumpster.
You know,
before, but-
every time I've asked that question, like no one ever really wants to get into it. You know what I mean? Like there's like, oh, how much time do you have? They want to give the backstory.
No,
I'm
I
like, just
watched
tell me about
friends
the
get DUIs and learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
And then I woke up one time and I was like, fuck, I'm hungover. I guess I got to go downtown and get my car. And I went outside and my car was in the driveway. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, we've all been there.
That's a pretty lame rock bottom. But to me, I was like, I've seen enough friends get DUIs and I think I barely.
Dude, that happened to me in Bangkok, and I walked outside, my motorbike was there. And I
Cool,
was
I
like,
can go back to
"That's
bed.
not
I'll
good."
go back
Hey,
to
it's
sleep.
still
now.
here. Yeah. I don't have to worry about it now. I've had the one where I'm laying in bed and I just throw up without moving. And I'm so drunk that I just turn and face the other way on my bed.
Wow.
A nice warm spot behind
Yeah.
your neck,
Yeah.
keeping you warm. And then you pee your pants and it's warm.
I
everywhere.
can't move to avoid the vomit.
Wow.
You need to get a baby mattress cover.
Yeah.
For going
Yeah.
Was
poopy.
that in the 90s, or was that like 2 days ago?
That is not recent. I can't do that anymore.
2020 minutes ago?
That would be a weak recovery at this point. Yeah.
So Mothership, you've been there a lot.
Not really.
Okay.
I only got a couple of dates after the Kill Tony show. And it's funny because like every time I walk by there, like the staff is like stoked to see me. Like sometimes I get to do the open mic.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories about people who get help.
But you know, here's the thing. Like I don't I've never stayed in a city for a comedy club, and as much as it would mean to me to work there, like obviously like that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But it's not what keeps me in Austin.
No, I think you should just be the new Mitzi of the Mothership. They need a Mitzi. It doesn't need to be Joe Rogan. They need a
You're
Mitzi.
not there yet.
They need a new Mitzi.
You need another year.
Yeah, they need to turn Mitzi's into Trishies. There's
My
a
whole
lot-
family calls me Trishy.
There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, I'm trying to get a Mothership," but there's some people get it and some people don't.
Well, you know,
have
they
to-
only have so many slots, and
Yeah.
they're always sold out. They don't need to give them out. Like, I'm not offended, and I'm definitely not going to be like, oh, I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? Because I'm a fucking monster, dude. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't want this, like, that's up to you. You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't suck up to people, and I don't like being fake. You know, I'm a really friendly, nice person, but I'm not gonna like sit there and just, you know. And
Yeah.
I would never like trash talk them. Like if someone doesn't like me, I'm not gonna say anything. What I've done in the past is if like a bar or a club doesn't want to book me, I'm very petty,
Yeah.
and I will book the bar across the street, and I will burn all my finances, my entire life down to watch them watch me sell it out.
I'm going to
You
buy
know,
this
like-
place and burn it to the ground.
Yeah. But I will, you know, run a thing at Shakespeare's very successfully right next door, and
It's hard
hopefully
to
that
believe
gets me some
there's-
recognition. But if not, you know, it is what it is. If I didn't love Austin as much as I did, I wouldn't stay. Like you know,
No, it was fun looking
that
on
would be
Instagram at
great.
all your initial impressions and everything. And you're living in a trailer commune or something.
Yeah.
What is that? You have a shower or no?
Yeah.
nice.
I'm building an outdoor shower. They all were shocked to find out I was not a lesbian. They were like, I don't understand. You fixed our
Smell
toilet.
like a lesbian.
You do the electricity. I know, dude. I need to get new. I need to just buy a thing of socks or something. Like I'm just like, this one smells like no one else will notice.
No, I didn't
You
smell
know?
anything. I was just saying game recognized game.
Oh,
like I would
nice.
figure
Yeah, yeah.
a lesbian would pick up on the pheromones or something.
Yeah.
So when it gets cold, is it flannel? Is that what goes on?
Well, and that's
Oh, yeah.
another thing too. Everyone's like, you're always wearing like the same thing. It's like, first of all, I came here with a backpack that I had from Loveburn because
Nice.
my car broke down and I was just living in pure chaos. And then Kill Tony happened. And I was like, well, I guess I'll stay, you know, so like I only have like 5 outfits. Right. And I can't get that much stuff and like move it. And then like the flannel is just like, it's hot as shit outside, but it's so cold inside every building. So this is just, you know, for comfort. And
Well,
everyone's
your
like,
thing
you
on
have
Kill
such a
Tony-
style. You have such an aesthetic. It's like, no, I'm just poor.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I woke up next to a dumpster and this shirt was there.
Yeah.
Your thing on Kill Tony is why I watch it, because I'm hoping an actual comedian will show up and do a good minute and be funny in the interview. That's
Yeah.
what you're hoping for all these people, for it to go well.
Yeah. I wish, you know, they have such an incredible show, and like, I don't feel like I have any room to comment on it. But the one thing I think I would change is like, do half the list for people that have proven themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, take anybody. I get it. You want to do first timers and all that stuff, but like, you know,
I'm pretty sure though that they go through the names in the bucket and they're like, "Oh, he's good. Because they want a couple of sure things. Because otherwise, if you have a whole episode of busts,
I think they have though.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
watched a couple where they're like they didn't pull anybody good on
Yeah.
that one.
I
get
really
pissed
think
off.
they do it fairly because
so?
yeah, because I came here I lived on Rick Diaz's couch while he was going there every
Mm-hmm.
week. You know what I mean? If they were gonna pull someone out of favorites, I think I would have gotten it.
Everyone's
just-
going to hate that person who picks through the list. Who are they? Why are they? Is it
Right.
subjective?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
everybody's
but
gonna have a
if it's
conspiracy
5
theory.
out of 200, there are a lot of repeats. Like there are a lot of people who've done it more than once, and I would just
Yeah.
think the odds. I don't know. My suspicions
statistical
go off.
anomaly.
Yeah. My Joe Rogan conspiracy. We didn't land on the
Autistic
moon.
math nerd starts having an orgasm.
Yeah.
does not compute.
Yeah.
And I know some people that were like pretty good that didn't get it for like 2 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it just I don't know. Maybe it is just statistics. Maybe it's just the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
So when you put up a comedy stage at a music festival,
Yeah.
how do you gauge whether it's going to work or not? You just say, "Fuck it, I'm going to do a thing here." Like,
So
is there seem to be a need for it or a demand?
this is a good question. The festivals that I've physically set up my own stage and done it for have been smaller festivals.
Yeah.
You know, I have done large festivals. Like I did a 2,000 person crowd at the Sziget Festival in Hungary, which is the largest comedy festival in Eastern Europe.
That's cool.
That was awesome, but like it's usually like smaller stuff. I always try to be like away from everything, like something you have to go find, you know,
Yeah.
like not, I always like check on noise and stuff. I also work for Frick Frack Blackjack, which is a clown casino, and they only hire me when they have a stage, but their stage isn't like conducive for comedy. There are no seats. People are in and out. So what I do, cause you know, I read one Malcolm Gladwell book and was like, I'm getting 10,000 hours. Like I don't give a fuck how it happens. So I've kind of learned, through doing festivals
minute
throughout
at
the
a
year.
time.
Yeah. Like it's not like regular stand up sometimes, and you have to be prepared for that. So like at Frick Frack, since there are no seats, no one's going to stay and watch the show. There is no building a moment, you know? I have like a page of one-liners. Like I don't write them down. I write down one word in different fonts so that I can like kind of look down and see it. And then they give me a dare wheel, and I do mostly roast. But you know, at festivals, it's just you look like this on ketamine, you know. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if I can- And so it's not like regular stand-up all the time. And then like if it is, it's like late night. People are just sitting around, and it's like, okay, can we get away with this? You know. And it's never like I have a pretty solid hour, but like at a festival, like it would go by in 30 minutes because I'd be doing it so fast because you got to like keep attention. You got to keep on it. Like it's not.
Have you ever been running a comedy show at a music festival and had to run to go see a band that you like? Like interrupt what you're in the middle of?
I think, no, I would, if there was something I really wanted to see, I would schedule it so I wouldn't be there.
Have you heard of Levitation Fest here?
No.
Austin has the Austin Psych Fest. It was Levitation for a while. In 2015, they basically read my Trapper Keeper from high school. It was Jesus and Mary Chain, Primal Scream. Who else was it? Black Angels, 13th Floor Elevators.
Did you do comedy there?
No, I went and did MDMA and saw and decided that Tame Impala was the best band in the world.
Lasers.
Because I was
That could happen.
tromping
Yeah.
across the field in my rubber rain boots, and it was muddy, and they were playing Elephant, and I was like, junka, junka, junka,
Yeah,
jan, jan.
That's so funny.
And yeah, it was
I
always lasers.
do want to say though, like the sets are so different depending on where you are. Like the other night I was doing Shakespeare's, right? I was headlining. The room was packed. Like there was at least 100 people in there. A lot of them were being very rowdy. They just wanted to talk to me while I was on stage. And I was killing it. Like I was throwing back everything they threw at me. At one point they were completely silent because I crushed this dude so hard. I was like, if you say one more word, like we're going to have to start filming this and play it at your funeral when you inevitably off yourself. Like you got to chill, dude.
Yeah.
And this guy came up to me after the show and he goes, you know, I just left Netflix as a joke fest, and like you're on your way there, like you're not quite there yet. Like I can tell you're working hard on it. And I did the eye roll that you just did, and I was like, dude, you just saw me in a rowdy, packed bar, and like you didn't see me at a comedy club where everyone's silent, waiting for what I'm gonna say.
If your dumbass thinks I'm almost there, I was there last year.
I was like, go fuck yourself. I mean, everyone has room for improvement. Don't get me wrong, but like, don't fucking come up to me and
This
say
is
like,
a dumb qualifier. You're almost there.
yeah, like, and also you just saw me in a rowdy bar that was everyone was screaming. Like, this is such a different atmosphere than your little festival. Like,
So Austin used to have this amazing. It was a music, but it had a pretty good comedy stage too, called Fun Fest.
Oh,
Yeah, it was good.
that sounds
And
great.
Yeah.
It was it. So
What happened to that?
It was fun until AT&T bought it and made it dumb.
Well, it
Dum,
was
dum, dum, dum.
the
Yeah.
guy
Sucks,
who
sucks,
it was just
sucks.
too expensive to put on. And then kind of corporations got involved and all that. But I
Was it
saw
the Waller Creek Amphitheater.
it started at Waterloo Park, which is now an amphitheater,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's
you would see
fancy now.
the bands coming up and the bands going down. So you would see like the ones that were about to break and the ones who were big and famous in there. Now they're doing smaller
It
stuff.
used to be like an Ewok village. They had all these porches and
Ewok
trees. It was really cool.
village.
And then they moved to Auditorium Shores, right on the lake downtown, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it just kind of collapsed. But I met Brian Posehn there. I saw Kumail Nanjiani do crowd work for 45 minutes, and it was amazing.
That's amazing.
So they had a great comedy stage, and I think the last one they did was in 2015. And now I'm like, oh my God, that was almost 10 years ago.
Oh, I know.
Oh my God, like what has happened to time?
I'm like thinking about deleting Facebook because of all the like, this is what you were doing 10 years
oh
ago.
God, yeah, that stuff popping up and.
Can you
Oh.
not?
Yeah, please do not.
Clearly, I'm not friends with this person anymore. Maybe stop sending me when we were in love.
Well, you know, you can tell somebody's not homeless because they have a phone, or it used to be that way, but now homeless
Yeah.
people are starting to have phones now.
They gotta get
it's-
Venmo, dude. Yeah.
Now, if they have AirPods,
Yeah,
like
that's
the AirPods, you're like, okay, that's not. Or if they have newer sneakers,
You know, when I'm barking in 6th Street in Austin and I find someone that looks homeless, but they're not, they always come to the show.
yeah,
You know? So I'm like, what are the qualifiers now? I'm like,
If
they
we
don't
could
smell
just-
weird, but they look weird. Okay, we'll give them a shot. You
you
know?
could give
I
homeless.
think it's if
people-
they approach you on the street and they start trying to talk to you about
Definitely
the
homeless.
independent state of Jefferson. I think that's it's
safe
the
word.
subject matter of
The
the
not safe
conversation.
word.
I thought that was
Yeah.
you.
A little bit of a bird nest in the
Could
beer.
start a charity and give homeless people AirPods and newer looking sneakers so they can get into
Yeah.
places and not get kicked out.
It's
Yeah.
like,
I'm
we
a
just
normal
wanted
guy.
socks. Like, what the fuck are we going to do with this?
Are you homeless? No, I'm getting cardio.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
So that guy I was telling you about who stabbed somebody and had to go to rehab, I used to ride in a truck with him all day long, and he was an old biker. He was
Yeah.
what's that biker gang?
How
here?
long was he in
Hells
prison?
Angels.
Yeah, he's a bandito.
Banditos.
I don't know. I don't mess with those people about that stuff.
Right.
They usually don't.
He
wanna
doesn't
talk
do a deep
about it.
dive.
Yeah.
It was long enough to get out eventually and get a job. But he used to. So he. I don't know where to start this story, but he was a biker gang guy. He was married, but his wife didn't fuck him anymore because she got. She went through that change, the menopause.
Yeah.
He was like, ever since she went through that change, she don't give me any pussy anymore. So he had all these girlfriends on his phone. So he's driving around training me how to do this truck job, and I'm just like a ride along, and he's texting girls that go to his biker bar,
Yeah.
but you're not allowed to text and drive. So he was doing voice to text.
Just saying the nasty.
So I'm trying to learn this job, and he's like, "How are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing
Come eat
later?"
my ass crack.
Question mark send.
Yeah. That's so funny. You know, so I'm living in a trailer park oasis, right? And my lot mate, the chick that lives next to me, I love her so much. She's this wonderful trans chick. And she goes, the day I met her, we're both like kindred spirits. Like, I'm an oversharer, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna put it all out on the table. We're just gonna talk. So the day I met her, she was the exact same way, and she was like, "Girl, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was in jail for 12 years." And I was like, "Well, what'd you do?" She goes, "Well, as an old school tranny hoe, you either got to hustle or you got to hook. And the thing is, I was terrible at hooking. Couldn't get the money, girl. I was just fucking." And like, we just dropped it right there. You know what I mean? Like, I never asked her anything else about it.
Yeah, I worked with guys with teardrops, but that's either you killed somebody or you got butt raped, depending on what
Oh, wow.
race you are.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Are you Mexican or black or white?" Because that's what that tear means, that you got raped or you killed somebody.
Are you a victim or are you a
not
predator?
I don't want to microaggression you, but I'm asking where your parents are from, so I can tell what that teardrop means.
You're
Either
a citizen.
way-
You're a citizen. I didn't
Either
mean
way,
it.
I don't feel safe
Yeah.
that you have a teardrop. There are guys with that had a laser removed, so they had like that.
I'm sorry.
long-
What are you doing for? Oh yeah, you said that they
Yeah,
had
I
the
can't talk
prison
about it.
reincarnation thing. Okay, right.
Second chance people.
I was like, who are these
I
people?
work for a transportation coordination event company in another town somewhere else.
Nice.
So
Good
my
save.
friend Nick's daughter in Springfield, Missouri, is doing a talent show for her school next week, and she wants to try stand-up. She's
Cool.
9.
That's amazing.
So they're going to Facebook call me about jokes.
Okay.
And I was going to try to get them to do it tonight and talk to you.
That would be great. I've done it.
Would you do something like that?
Oh,
for
totally.
A little
So I
Make-A-Wish?
actually, I actually run writers workshops, never in real life, never for money, but I do it at all the Burns.
Okay.
And I'll train people how to do stand up. And like all of my students have been awesome. And then every time they're not awesome, it's just me in the back being like, that's not what we practiced.
I don't want to tarnish your dirtbag image by trying to make you do something nice and wholesome.
No, I actually,
I think the burn thing, it might. There's a lot of wholesomeness in burns. Have you done Flipside?
I'm actually going to it.
Okay, so
in
that
3
you
weeks.
want to hear my Flipside joke?
Please.
Version
I
of
totally just ripped it off of all the other jokes. It's how do you know if somebody goes to Flipside? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually was going to tweet today. I'm glad you reminded me. I was going to tweet that you guys have no idea how hard it's been not to make Burning Man my entire personality.
It's like being a vegan.
Yeah.
So I asked my wife for a lighter the other night, and she got it out of her bra and gave it to me, and I smelled it, and she was like, "That's creepy," and I was like, "We're married. Can I not smell your titty lighter?" So was that not in our vows? Should we have put that in our vows? We're gonna switch halves of sandwiches whenever we go for soups and sandwiches. I get half of your sandwich, and I get to smell all
Dude,
your.
I've written way weirder contracts in my relationship. I dated the same guy on and off for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a really sick dude. And I have some really sick stand-up jokes because of him. But he liked really rough sex, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So I loved to do it. Like, I loved to wake him up because he was, like, nice and, like, soft. And he was, like, we would joke about how we, like, would rape each other.
Yeah.
So we wrote a contract saying that this are the hours that it's okay. It's okay if you do this. And I taped it to the side of his wall. And I was like, I fucking hope we go to court one day. I hope they have to look at all our fucking text messages.
I want this read into the record.
And our insane I got it notarized, dude. I thought it
Nice.
was hilarious.
Excellent.
Like, we had to both like sit there and sign it. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't get it notarized, but I would have loved that.
I was trying to bang my wife, and she was like, "I'm on my period, but we can do it in the butt." And I was like, "Well, when God closes a door,
When he opens an asshole.
that's when there was." one set
Okay,
of
so that guy
footprints.
that I dated for 13 years, he was like, we were about to get married, and I was always taunting him like, I don't want to do butt sex unless we're married.
Yeah.
Just like as a joke, you know, like,
Saving yourself for me.
yeah, like I've always been saving my butthole, you know, like you
Christian
gotta save
guilted
it.
someone into anal.
Yeah, and then he was like, come on, like he was trying to pressure me into it. So I was like, okay, I'll make you a deal. I was like, if you let me put a strap on and
Yeah.
you let me peg you,
Yeah.
I'll do it. And he was thinking about it, and he was like, well, how would you do it? Like, think I'd be, I was like, I'm gonna fucking ruin your life, dude. I was like, this isn't gonna be like a soft, he's 6'4", right? I'm 5'1", right? And I was like, I was explaining it to him while I was doing it. I put his legs in the air in like a V position.
You don't want to run.
And
into
I was like pretending to just slam the shit out of him.
You gave him
and I was like,
the baby diaper change.
yeah, I was like, you're gonna regret all that shit you did to me. Like, I'm gonna fucking.
You don't want to run into
baby
Trish
diaper.
with a strap on in the
Yeah.
woods alone. And
Everyone
you
is
choose the
shocked
bear.
to find out I've never used one. Like, shocked to find out I'm not a lesbian.
He's like, I choose the bear. I'd rather have the bear
Yeah.
than that. You're gonna ruin my butt.
All right, let's take a break here real quick, and we'll be right back.
Everything's expensive. I mean, it's the same as a sandwich to get a juice there.
Yeah.
It's $12.
I
for
feel
like
it because like I am seeing someone right now, but I did get back on like Bumble and Tinder because like I am writing some fantastic jokes to these strangers.
Excellent.
Did you hear that
Yeah.
joke about the gay guy that caught his boyfriend on Grindr because he was also on Grindr looking at Grindr?
That's funny. My roommate, the trans chick.
That's the Pina Colada song. They found each other in the classifieds.
That's so funny. My roommate, the
Grindr.
trans chick, she's so funny. She was like, I have this talent where I can see someone's dick and I can tell exactly what they're gonna look like. And I was like, prove it. Like, you're a good artist. Like, prove it.
Like
She-
from the dick, she knows the face.
Yes,
Like a
she can tell
dog.
the face, the body type, all of it. So we were on this app where everyone just shows their dick. It's not Grindr, it's like something else. And she was like, she showed me 3 dicks. She drew out what they look like, and then we asked them all for their picture, and she fucking nailed it.
Whoa.
It was
Okay.
like, I was like, dude, you should be working for sex crimes.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
was like, do you know how many pedophiles we could hit if you could just draw their face? For
How do
their
you feel
dick?
about watching child porn all day?
It's like how your dog looks like the owner. We had Kojak here, and he went on Grindr and found Kojak.
Yeah.
Have you seen him? The I'm black.
I'm black and I'm
Yes.
gay.
Yes.
After we recorded here, he said, "Let me pull up Grindr," and he found like 6 dudes within 500 yards, and I was like, I walk by that guy and his family every day.
That's so great.
On the down low.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a whole different world for
They
gay
probably all
guys.
found each other. They're hybridizing their
Yeah.
own form of gonorrhea herpelades right here. in
Yeah,
your
we have
neighborhood.
a gay swinger neighborhood. Apparently, I didn't.
A gwinger.
Not to put out too much information about my roommate, but she did say something hilarious the other day. She was like, I went through a whole sexcapade, and then I got tested, and they called me, and they were like, you have gonorrhea. And she's like, okay. And they called back the next day, and they were like, you have chlamydia. She's like, okay. And then they called back the next day, and they're like, you have syphilis. And she was like, lose my fucking number.
You want the good news or the bad news?
Yeah.
She swiped right on all the diseases.
Yeah. I was like, we're supposed to be strong together because, like, I had an interaction with someone I shouldn't have. When Adam Ray bought me the hotels for the week, I adopted a homeless musician.
Nice.
But I didn't date him because I was like, what's your STD
You can
status?
just say musician and we'll assume he's
No,
homeless.
he was homeless. Like, he was
They're all
hardcore
hom-
homeless.
all
He's
the
a
musicians
busker?
are homeless.
Was he
I
a
was
busker?
I was like, you can shower here, but you can't stay here. And then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you can stay here because you're already doing it.
Closing
Like, he's
time.
fucking kept, he's not leaving. And then and then I was like, well, what's your STD status? Because he was like pretty cute. He's a really good musician, and he was like, it would be an honor to die with you.
That's a good answer.
Thank you. I tried to.
Some
I
Shogun
thought it was
shit.
so funny that I was like, okay, you can stay. Because I was like, I'm gonna write so many jokes off this dude. And then I
Yeah.
did that joke in stand up, and nobody laughed. And I was like, well, who do you need to feel bad for in this situation for that to be funny? And then his fucking dog ruined the hotel, and I had to pay for it and text Adam Ray and be like, hey, I did this. If they try to charge you, please let me know. But my card's unincidental, so
That's so
it should
Japanese.
be okay.
Did he know you had been to Japan? It would be an honor to die.
He's not that smart.
Let's disembowel each
Yeah.
other.
He was really
I
funny.
request permission. Yeah.
Like, I'll give him that. He was really funny, but I just saw him every night for like 3 nights. We would have like a late night meal together after I was done doing stand up and he was done doing his gigs. And it was cute. And then I was like, you know, do you want to wash your clothes? Like, you know, just being nice. Like, do you need a shower?
Yeah,
Like-
STDs are like the Girl Scout badges of bad decisions. Just maybe the whole,
But I dated the same guy for so long that I'm like in my 30s and in the clear. Like, I would just like to stay there.
I had to take a test for this girl to move here from Florida with me. She was like, I'm not moving there until you take a test.
I mean, that's fair.
And I went to the doctor and I was like, okay, what do we do? And he showed me this Q-tip thing. And he was like, this goes in your urethra. And I was like, no. What?
What kind of scientific word is
And he
it
was
for
like,
you
that's
about
the
to
only way
ruin
we
my
can get a
life?
swab of a sample, and then we'll put it, and then we'll bring it back the results. And I was like, okay, go ahead. And he was like, no. And he handed it to me, and he was like, I'm not doing it. You're doing it. I'm going to leave the room.
I'm not a doctor.
I was so upset and afraid that I went into the closet of the doctor's office after he went outside to put it in there.
This is a joke I had. It was like, you know what the easiest question of the world to answer is? Whenever a girl asks, "You've been tested, right?" as she pulls the condom off.
That's so funny. And that, oh man. Okay, one last thing about my wonderful lot mate. She's like, they had you put a Q-tip in your butthole, and she was like, you would think with all the stuff I've put in my butthole, it wouldn't hurt, but I put that Q-tip in there, and I was like, what the fuck?
Nothing furry like
She
that.
just makes my life every day. Like, I just come home to this chick that's just like, why do you hate me? Let's get high.
She's
Like,
a fucking Russian content farm.
I fucking
For
love
your
her.
stand-up.
I'm honestly like, we started writing a script because I was like, I think that we could do something with this. And then I was like trying to tell her, I was like, because she had all these like amazing ideas and she's so funny. And I was like, what you're not thinking about is like the realism of like, we don't have lights. We can't film at all the locations. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have good cameras. I was like, the best we can do is like a shitty YouTube show.
You
Like,
could do like that movie Tangerine where they recorded it all on an iPhone.
well, I need a better phone. My phones come from pawn shops and then I lose them. And then like,
The
I
thing-
need a lot
You're on
of
the
stuff.
iPhone 5. Yeah.
You know, I was telling people like that got on Kill Tony, I was like, you know, you need to put out a virtual tip jar because I sell a lot of stuff online, but a lot of people just tipped me, which
Yeah.
I thought was so funny. I was like, you don't want any toilet art. You just want to give me money. Like, that's cool.
We have a buddy that runs brewery events and stuff in San
Yeah.
Marcos in the Hill Country, and he gets more tips from putting a QR code on the table than he does from the bucket.
Exactly. And
And it's more convenient for
this
people.
one chick was after I told her that, I was like, because she
It's
got
on
on
their
Kill Tony,
terms.
I told her to put out a tip jar. And then she starts talking to me a couple weeks later after her episode comes out, and she goes, yeah, I actually got more on my Amazon wish list.
Nice.
And I was like, I didn't fucking think about doing that. I was like, shit. I was like, I should have been fucking. I didn't even know you could make a wish
Can I
list.
put money on my Amazon wish?
Yeah.
I need a registry for life.
There's
But I
Santa.
just want like art supplies and like equipment. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
I like it's all very practical stuff.
Donnie and I
then
got
I was like, what did they
inspired.
buy for you? And she was like thigh high, like all the sexual stuff. Then I saw our episode. I was like, yeah, that's probably why.
So what's your medium? What's your art medium? Are you painting or are
It's
you?
acrylic.
Yeah, I use acrylic.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
We got inspired by you. Actually, we're gonna have a merch. We're gonna sell watercolor paintings of us peeing on each other's feet,
Oh my God, you should.
like a couple cute babies.
You know, I've actually inspired like a
It's
couple
water
comics.
sports watercolor.
That's so funny. I inspired a couple of comics, and have you guys ever heard of Harrison Tweed?
I've heard the name.
He's out of North Carolina. He lives in New York now. He's a really good friend of mine. We open up for each other all the time. And I was like, Harrison, you draw. I was like, if you don't have any merch, I was like, just draw some. I was like, I'm making good money off these paintings. Like, you should
Right.
do some stuff. And he was like, okay. So he did like a couple different drawings. He came to open up for me. And the one that sold was Steph Curry's penis.
Nice.
He did like this amazing caricature of the penis, and it had
And
all
it
this
looks like it, yeah.
backstory. Yeah. And that sold. And he goes, yeah. So like my thing now is athletic sports penises.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, like that's an avenue. Like at least you have a theme. Like
I can
that's
see
cool.
it's one of those caricature artists, but they just do penises.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
he does caricatures after the show.
Okay.
Of
yeah.
like anything they want. I was like, can they whip out their dick? He was like, honestly, I'm broke. And like, whatever you like, it's so
They
funny
pay
what
him?
you can get comics to do. Cause we all have like this line, right? Like, I'm like, I can't get naked because my dad will see it, but yet I sell naked paintings, because like sometimes you're wearing a leotard, you pull your pants down, you're on the toilet. And I think those are really funny.
Rompers are huge. now.
Yeah.
There's
So
no
like
way to
I'm
shit
like
in a
naked
romper.
in a bunch of the toilet paintings, but it's funny because like my line was like, I'll never do stuff like that. And then it's like, but I will sell the paint version because I don't care.
Just abstract enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that one's really realistic. I do a monochromatic piss color one that I sell as a print.
You don't use any period blood or anything like that.
I've thought about it and other people have told me to, which I do think would be funny, but it's not red.
Yeah.
Like,
Black.
and even if it is red, it's gonna turn like.
Yeah.
Do you
You're not
want,
gonna
doesn't
have
it
the best.
smell?
Yeah, it's not
That's
gonna
why your
stick
poop
around.
is brown. 'cause
Like
it's
you
all
would
blood.
mix it in with the paint, right?
Yeah.
But like, how does that dry? Like,
And what if they start to
It's
really
very
do well
spiritual.
and you can't produce enough
Yeah.
product? And you're like, I'm fucking running out of blood
I'll
over
start
here.
using other people's blood. Dude, there's a fucking unlimited source. I'll fucking slip my wrist on that bitch if you give me enough money. I
Yeah,
didn't give
I know
That's what I'm
vampires.
saying, like-
I can find blood.
Yeah, like comics will do like if you're like, hey
You want a
man,
toe? I'll get
this
you a
might
toe,
make
dude.
money.
I was thinking Juice Land. Okay, so there's a rapper that uses all their merch on all his. He's an Austin rapper and he has like Juice Land t-shirts.
Yeah.
Lizzo should do that. She should make Juice Land panties. 'Cause
Yeah.
She's the blame it on my juice.
I just spilled
yeah,
my
yeah,
beer all
yeah.
over myself. I'm fine. Don't
She's
worry
very
about me.
juicy.
I'm okay.
So I had a joke that got me in trouble
You
on.
don't.
I think I'm okay. Yeah, maybe a little.
It looks cool.
Yeah. Whatever.
is
I miss
bigger.
my mouth.
It's very
completely.
punk.
Don't worry
Ranch
about
water
me. I'm
tie
fine.
dye. So I had a joke that got deleted from the internet because I said the word Hitler, and it got deleted for hateful
Really?
ideology.
What
But
is
it was
this, Germany. Like what
No,
the
it was like it was talking about
Gaza.
white people being evil, wasn't it?
It was, the
like,
Gaza Strip is beachfront property.
Oh, was that
So
one?
that's why they want it, so they can have access to the Mediterranean, because the Germans had U-boats and they want Jew-boats.
Isn't there an oil thing out there? I thought that was why they were doing it.
I don't know. It's U-boats, Jew-boats is
Yeah.
the joke.
Yeah.
But because they keep ripping off Hitler, they ripped off the genocide idea, and now they're ripping off the U-boats
This is
idea.
arguably a really good joke. I'm offended that
That's
they
what
took
I
it down.
was working on it.
Yeah.
But then, so because it got removed from the internet, I was like, I'll just do it on stage, and this is my new barometer for like what I should do.
What's on the internet? What's on stage?
Yeah,
If
if
they
they
take it
won't
down
let-
the internet, it's going to kill in Austin.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well,
Well,
I
I
started
actually,
saying
so
they're
I
ripping off
did
Hitler.
comedy in Berlin, right? And
Yeah.
I don't remember what my punchline to this joke was, but I was like, like I love that you guys have a parliament system. It's not winner takes all. Like you have the highest GDP in Europe. You have the best like standards for workers, blah, blah, blah. But like no one wants to talk about it because of the whole Hitler thing.
Yeah.
And then like I had like this whole other punchline and concept I can't remember. But after the show, someone came up to me and they were like, just so you know, like it's illegal to talk about Hitler.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. And I was like, well, how you gonna learn? Like, I was like, what?
I
It
thought this was America. You
yeah,
guys
like
want
I
free
was like,
speech?
what? You guys can just like cancel out words like that?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. I had no idea.
I had a friend who was
They're
German,
ashamed.
and he was an exchange student, and then he moved back, and we had to mail him copies of Mortal Kombat because in Germany they had such strict laws that you couldn't sell even video games with blood in them.
What?
Germany is crazy, and of course there's the whole like
I mean, they did it with gas. They feel like blood would just be like on the table.
like you can't no swastikas, no anything. Like
trying to
you
erase
can't
Which is
even
also
talk about it.
unfortunate because like swastika is a symbol for unity
Yeah.
in
For
but is
thousands
it-
of years before
Yeah.
they ruined it. Yeah.
Is it Hinduism?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
came
yeah.
from India, and it was like this positive symbol. And then it
Yeah,
got
I
turned
remember
into
like when the first time I went to Asia, I was like, man, there's a lot of swastikas.
swastikas.
here.
What is
I don't know.
going on?
I was
What's
like,
up
I
with
don't
the
know.
Nazis?
I was like, I don't know if they know what that means.
right.
And then my dumbass didn't even realize like this is actually,
Yeah, it's like the people in Japan who have the shirts with all the slurs on, but they just don't know what it means because it's just English words to
Dude,
them.
I love that. I love when kids are wearing stuff like
Hell
that.
yeah.
That's like those are good. Those are fun parents. You know what I mean?
So I have a work wife. You know the concept of a work wife.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a girl at work that's become good friends with me, and she happens to be female. So everybody's like, "Oh, it's your work wife," and I try not to talk about her too much at home. 'Cause I don't want to make anybody upset.
Yeah.
But it's just things that happen at work.
Good
I
thing
go,
she doesn't
oh,
listen to
my
your
friend
podcast."
so and so, and my wife was like, "Oh yeah, she's great. I love her. She helps Josh's day go by at work great, and she's great. She's come over to the house before, but it was like my wife was describing my work wife to some other friends in a complimentary fashion, like I'm a dog.
I'm waiting for how you're going to relate this to swastikas.
No, I
I'm
just
kidding.
felt like a piece of meat. Like
Yeah.
this, my main wife was describing my work wife to strangers. Like she handles him during the day.
I
and
take him
it
at
goes
night.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And
Where's co-manager?
I can
appreciate
tell when
her.
she's not there that day. Comes back all riled up.
Sometimes
I have
we
to
need an
refer back
extra-
to our contract on when I can rape it.
I just need an extra pair of hands sometimes.
Dude, I had that happen. This is funny. You don't know this. I've never told you the story.
Uh-oh.
But I was dating a chick, and every once in a while I'd be like, "Yeah, Kristen came over and blah 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 and all that." And then she had a dream that I had sex with your wife, and she was
Nice.
mad at me the next day.
I do that all the
Yeah, you
time.
forever.
They're not even dreams.
You can get
Like the
mad
guy
about
that so the guy I'm seeing, we've never actually met,
Oh,
right? So we've been talking for 4 years now. We've missed each other by a day in several different countries. So we have a lot of like mutual friends, right? He was living in Pai, Thailand, this very small town, and he left and I came the next day. And then that's like kind of how we met, because he was like, "Oh, I saw you on all these ads," and then we were talking about something, and I was like, "Oh, I might come over there next." Because like when you're living out of a backpack in a foreign country, anyone else who's living that way, you're very open to talking to them. You're like, "We should meet up," like this is a thing, whatever. And I like through speaking to him, we've been talking about. I'm like, I got to fight with you in my head.
Nice.
Like you're not winning. You know what I mean? Like I have to be open and honest with you about what it's going to be like when you come here, because he's coming next week for
Nice.
2 weeks. Like we're gonna meet.
Sounds like you're in like a movie, like a Keanu Reeves movie. It's like, I've been trying to meet you.
You're gonna have to meet eventually.
Well, it's him.
Yeah.
Well, it's him been trying to meet. I've been very like nah, and then
Yeah.
like I was like, where do you think I'm at in life that I'm like, yeah, okay, come over.
I have a-
like
I have a theory about
things aren't
this.
going great.
There's AI girlfriends. You can sign up online for an app where you have an AI girlfriend. She texts you back, and she's super nice.
And you only know about this from a friend, or
I heard from
Yeah.
someone.
You did some research.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his phone's just vibrating.
yeah.
Yeah.
So a guy can only have an AI girlfriend for so long before you're
Yeah,
like,
you got your work wife, you got your phone wife, you got your wife wife.
I'm like a virtual Mormon. So a guy can't have an AI girlfriend for too long before you have to do something physical with it. Like, I don't understand how a dude could have a fake girlfriend.
Well, have
where
you
don't
seen
bang.
the Black Mirror episode about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, eventually.
But it seems like it'd be easier for a girl to be fulfilled in a relationship from an AI boyfriend that might not actually exist in real life. Because
Are you trying to give me ideas right now?
the things
Because
that
I'm like, I'm
validate
on
you? You
board.
like this guy. You're saying this guy I'm seeing, and you
Yeah.
like him, but you've never met.
I like.
Are you sure he's real? He might be an AI.
Well, we
That's
have
what
all
we're
these. We
saying.
have tons of mutual friends,
Okay.
but
So there is evidence that he exists.
Yeah.
In like reality, in
He's
physical
about to
reality.
exist real hard around here.
Yeah, like
pretty soon.
I've talked to mutual friends about about like what's happening. And I just think it's so funny because I'm just like, never give up, boys. Like, just keep stalking her. Like, say something more clever than, hey, every few months. And, like, maybe you'll get him. Like,
What's fun to do around here? I'm new in town.
Yeah.
That's it, John Hinckley. She's gonna marry you someday. Yeah.
So my doctor asked me, how many drinks do you have a week? And I was like, why don't you stay out of my business, nosy? I'm getting tired of this line.
I
of
love when they
questioning.
ask me that. I'm like, can we do by the month? Because, like, I think it's a cycle thing. I was
Yeah.
like, if you ask me during period week, it's 100.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, what do you want? Like,
That's a strange
Yeah.
bracket
Yeah.
of time.
you ask me post period week, it's 0 because I'm like, I need to turn this life
Yeah,
around.
I gotta get you back
I do
to
the
it.
same thing every month where I'm like, I need to be sober, like I need to get on my shit, and then like you start getting hormonal, and you're like, you want to take shots, you want to have like a better life, like we deserve it, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I've earned it. I get a treat.
Let's
You
get
gotta give yourself a
fucking
treat.
rich.
Do you ever smell weed if you haven't smelled weed for a while or smoked weed for a while and your body misses it and you smell like phantom weed?
Yeah.
You're like, this
You're
happened
like-
to me in the office
It's
last
like,
week.
did someone just take a shit, or is this like the kush, or like what's happening?
I'm on the 4th floor in a cubicle and I smelled weed and I was
Yeah.
like, so what motherfuckers smoking in here?
I have like significantly decreased my weed consumption,
Yeah.
and I smell it more now.
Same.
you know,
I
like,
just do
I'm like-
gummies now because
Yeah.
I start coughing.
Oh,
real
I
bad.
can't eat it because if I eat it consistently and then don't eat it, I'm a bitch, dude. I'm so
Are you
angry.
sensitive to it? Like, does it? Because I can have like a tiny little piece of something, and I'm out of my mind for hours.
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive to edibles.
Honestly, and I know this is like the girliest answer, but I think it depends on the time of the month.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like, if
yeah,
you're
like your
losing-
chemistry or whatever.
Yeah, like if you're losing blood and your blood's thinner, like you get more affected
Yeah,
by
that
it.
makes
I
sense.
also like can't not smoke on my period. Like I have to smoke something. Like sometimes I'm like on and off with the cigarettes. If I'm off with the cigarettes, I smoke these fucking CBD things I hate. Like I just like need, like, I don't know. Like I get in these cycles of just like,
The cycles are bad, dude. If you
Yeah.
live with a woman, sometimes she'll be horny maybe like 3 days out of the month, and if you can ride those out,
Yeah,
you can have
yeah,
a good like a week or a couple weeks. But you got to get on the train while it's pumping hot.
There's something like with biology about that.
my dad always had it down. He was like, listen, once a month, like you just got to do the dishes and not talk about it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You just got to be on it.
Yeah,
Like, you just-
vacuuming
He was like,
makes
you
women
write that
horny
day
as fuck.
down, it'll make that day next month a lot easier.
I was trying to make a joke about butt cheeks online because the Spanish word for butt cheeks is nalgas,
Mm-hmm.
but it's nalgorithms. So if you look at enough butt cheeks and you get a custom feed of just butt cheeks, that means you're in the nalgorithm, the nalgote rhythm. And my wife was borrowing a shirt from me, and I was like, "Which shirt are you using?" And she was like, "The gray V-neck," and I was like, "Gravy neck? That sounds like the Southern cooking version of a pearl necklace. You're gonna give me a gravy neck on my gravy neck." I was trying to write a joke about cauliflower ear and cauliflower pizza getting popular at the same time with the same group of dudes, like the workout dudes.
Yeah.
Did you see? What?
That's how you can
Whitney's-
tell at the mothership who's a comic and who's not.
Yeah.
He got the ear.
Yeah, and then he eats the pizza.
Yeah.
Everything's
don't know. I mean,
cauliflower
Are
like-
you a
all day.
comedian or are you a
Dude,
shob?
I'm kind of glad I don't work there too, because like some of those guys are, what the fuck? Like,
on it culture.
what you think was gonna happen?
They're
you
all
know?
taking Alpha
Like,
Brain and
yeah.
they're all sharp.
I know.
Keep it frosty.
I like try because like you're always like, what if I am in the position where I need to roast this person? Like, I like to write roasts prehand because one, they're well thought out, and two, you want to get to a place where like you're making fun of someone, but they don't fucking hate you for
No,
it.
you can
know what I mean?
generalize
Where
enough.
it's like kind of a compliment, you know?
Yeah, that's what you did
And
to
like
me. You
all
told me
the
I look
ones
like
I've written about Joe
Nicola Bla-
Rogan are about Alpha Brain. Like,
Now, you got a good Joe Rogan.
You told me I look like the embodiment of Michelob Ultra or
yeah,
something.
you were the champagne of beers.
And then afterwards, you were like, "I didn't mean that about you. I already wrote that." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I did
know."
write that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got the 3 thumbs up.
Yeah,
right?
if I ever get on Kill Tony or anything where Joe Rogan's there judging and they say I did good, I'm gonna put both thumbs on either side of Joe Rogan's head and go 3 thumbs up.
Yeah. And I've always wanted to ask Tony Hinchcliffe to ask Joe Rogan that if a bunch of bodybuilders or roommates do their steroid cycles line up.
Yeah, they want
Speaking of
to
cycles.
stab each other. You know what I mean?
What does that apartment look like?
So I want to hear about the Nashville comedy scene
The Nashville.
because you hear more. It's like Austin. You hear more about the music over there.
You know what's funny is like all these people, like when I was like my bus broke down, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. Do I have to get a job or like what should I do? Everyone was like, go to Nashville, you'll make so much money. They have so much money in comedy there. And I was like, I've lived in Nashville. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Like, where is this information coming from? Like, has it really changed that much? I
never
lived
been.
there in 2019.
Okay.
So it's been a while. I have visited a few times. I used to bartend there, so I had like this little bar family, but they're really great. Like they have like a very small scene, and I complained a lot about not being a part of it, and then they were like, "Okay, we hear you. You're a part of it." So I felt like I was
Paperwork
like,
involved, or how do you?
Huh?
Has there do you get jumped in?
Like I was just like, what the? I was like, I get no love here, and like I'm bringing all these people to the shows. You know what I mean? Like in DC, I'm from DC. I didn't start comedy there. I started comedy in Vegas.
Yeah.
But when I lived there in 2018 for 6 months, and like later on, I lived there for like 6 months at a time to like help my family or whatever. Like no one wanted to put me on anything, and I'm like, I'm a monster, and I'm bringing all these people to shows. Like, you know, like I'll
You're a
move on.
party starter, which is that's what you want.
I'm
get
like,
the
why
room
don't you
going.
want this?
Yeah.
So I felt that way in Nashville, but they really turned it around. They were like, we hear you. Like, we'll, you know, be nicer. Like, it's chill.
So those girls that you just saw, we're on the same iCloud account.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the same phone. We have the same notes app.
Oh,
so
wow.
where I keep my ideas for show shit to talk about,
Oh, wow.
they started doing it at junior high between all their friends.
Oh,
these are the
I
notes
suck cock, Rex.
of a bunch of children
Yeah.
that sit around. They saw my notes and
Where
they're like,
are the gays? He's been on top of me like 17. I guess they signed their names.
Yeah.
It's all just dudes being dudes.
It's who
I'm a
said-
homosexual, Liam. Longer than you could take it, Rex. Liam needs to be more careful when he's on top of me, Rex. It's just dudes calling each other gay
They're
and
not
we're
dudes.
gay
They're
together.
all they, them. It's a junior high. No
Yeah.
one's anything.
I love kids,
It's none
random.
of your business what their genitalia
The
is.
gay
They're
runs
15.
in my blood. I love
It's
breast
very
cancer.
obvious what their genitalia is from the notes.
This is
you
this is
fucking
totally
figure
our
it out.
audience, dude. Like this is. This
Should
is
we start doing
absolutely our
shows for them?
audience.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now.
I've
back here.
actually I've had a problem with like the younger generation. They're not into the dark jokes yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, listen, you just need like a couple of traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
I
and
was
you're
born
gonna
into the
love this
darkness.
shit.
You merely
Yeah.
adopted
You merely
it.
adopted it.
So how long were you in the UK comedy scene?
I did the Fringe Festival twice,
Mm-hmm.
and each time I kind of like went around the UK a little bit, but there's not a lot going on outside of Edinburgh during the Fringe. I did go through Ireland, like South Ireland once, did all their shitty bars. And
I went
I
to
did
all
go
the
to
places
London.
in Edinburgh where Transpotting was filmed and took a picture of
Really?
myself under the John Menzies, the
That's
mirror
tight.
sign.
Have you
and-
done the Fringe?
No, I'd love to. That's
It's a
fantasy.
good time.
Yeah.
It's just expensive.
Edinburgh's like the first thing on my list when I get over there because I want to go hang out at the university and drink in the pubs.
Dude, it's amazing.
You
Like
know,
you're doing-
Charles Darwin is from the guy who figured out evolution.
Yeah.
He's from the University of Edinburgh.
That's cool.
And I just want to go there and sit and pretend that I'm the scientist.
My
you know.
ancestors are from Edinburgh.
Excellent, yeah.
Yeah.
That's another dream is pub comedy. I'd
Yeah.
love to have a pub
Well,
comedy
it's
scene where there's
so-
a fireplace and you have like
Dude,
a Gandalf dude.
I've done so many of those.
Yeah.
But it's like
With a big, long
I got
pipe.
really lucky. I got a free place to stay each time I went because that's like what stops a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, right.
And I got a free place to stay because my brother plays World of Warcraft. You guys know about WoW?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's been
Look
playing.
at the video games and the
Nice.
screens in the house.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's been playing World of Warcraft forever, you know, and he's been playing with these guys for like 5 years, but they never met IRL, like in real
Yeah,
life.
that's how it goes.
And he was like, "Hey, man, my sister's gonna come do the Fringe Festival. Would you guys take her?" And they're like, "Well, you know, it's a little weird." And I was like, "It's more weird for me." And they're like, "Okay, yeah, come on by." And all they did all day was play World of Warcraft, watch Catfish, and just smoke pot. And I loved it there.
I've known some people that have had bad Houston World of Warcraft marriage divorce adventures based on that game.
Yeah, the WoW relationships are
Yeah,
some
people
weird
meet
ones.
each other on
There's
there.
some weird ones, yeah.
My old girlfriend's sister met her cheated on her husband with some guy with a foot fetish.
Did any of them have WoW themed weddings?
I don't think they ever. Yeah, that happens in the game.
Yeah, they do a wedding in the game with their two little characters.
Everybody, all their friends
Yeah.
line up. In,
Yeah.
in virtual.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
That's one of the jokes that I've had is I grew up, we were into like video games and Dungeons and Dragons and nerdy stuff and all
Yeah.
that, and the whole time we're like, I wish girls liked what we liked. I wish we could get girls into our nerd stuff or whatever. And then we met the girls that were into that, and we were like, not those girls, no.
Well, now they're all naked on Twitch, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, well,
great.
those are the ones who know that that's a nice income source.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch Grand Theft Auto. You're distracting me with your jiggly bits. You're very good at the game. Have you heard of Wonder Spaces, Austin?
No.
So you were talking about getting more into art installations. This is probably a couple of years ago. I don't know if you're still.
No, I'm still
interested.
very into that. Yeah.
So there's a place in North Austin called Wonder Spaces. It's in an office park, but each room of this office building is a different theme, and they hire out different people to
That's
just.
so cool.
It seems cool. Once you get a hold of it and make it what you want, but first, when you show up, it looks like an office.
Yeah.
And they give you a cubicle or
Yeah.
like a room, and then you get a pass key and you go in and it's all blank, and then you go, okay, I need to be not in an office now and make this cool
That sounds
because I'm an
fucking
artist.
dope. Yeah.
They rotate out every month different stuff. So depending on
Do
where
they go?
you-
Do people go there to sell art or throw shows? Or?
you would go there and lease a space and get a share of the tickets.
Cool.
But you get a big room, and you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want with all 8 walls,
That sounds great.
if you're including the floor and the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, they're looking for people.
I definitely will look into that. I
Have
mean,
you-
I got to find something to. I can't believe I'm going to be here all summer, dude. It's going to be 110.
Yeah, you said you were about to
Last-
leave. Last time I talked to you, you said you were leaving late May.
I've said that yeah, I was going to leave late May.
Okay.
And now I'm.
We just have to hope that it's not like last summer, because last summer it was 105 degrees for 3 months with no rain, and we had that wet bulb,
You're going to
which
not
is where
like
it was
it
all
here.
humid.
Yeah,
it
well,
was miserable.
I'm going to try to get some dates and like go do other stuff, but
You're going to start quantifying and qualifying bookings, whether it's outside or not.
yeah.
I don't know if
I
it's
wanna
still
fucking do that.
$3, but the Barton Springs pool is very cold.
Yeah,
Oh, I have a
you're-
pool in my
I mean,
trailer park.
It's
Oh,
it's
you
a
don't need a
natural
shower?
spring. Yeah.
You do a Bert Kreischer shower.
Yeah.
Jump in the pool.
I've actually hosed myself down a couple times there. Yeah.
You hosing with all the hose over there?
Yeah, hosing with the hose, dude.
Yeah.
Kojak just recently posted a video of him doing the shock collar comedy thing.
I did that.
You did.
Oh my god, I did that, and
How does that not ruin all the rest of your jokes? I'd be so nervous the whole
I
rest
was
of the time.
terrified. Well, what happened was the first person shocked me. I put my hand in front of the light, and I was like, "Show yourself."
Bitch.
And then she did, and I obviously ripped her to fucking shreds.
Yeah, this
and
is
she
what we're
kept
doing
hitting
now.
it, and I just got worse and worse. Because like I said, like you want to have pre-written roast because you know they're gonna work, but
Is that
it's
why you have a choker on right now to cover the scars?
yeah. You want to have pre-written roast so that people don't hate you, but like at some point you just don't care, and you're just
I
like,
thought that'd be a really good place for you to do the same joke you did on Kill Tony. If you follow your dreams, you could
Can
be.
I do the jokes that I did on Kill
you
Tony?
could be here right now.
I've been having this debate for a while because I haven't done them, right? And like the jokes that I did about the festival were actually part of a funeral speech
Yeah.
that I wrote. And I do that funeral speech in stand up now. And sometimes I do part of the joke and then I'm like, you might have heard me say that on the internet, but now you know I wrote it for a funeral. And I've been like, should I even say that? Like, should I just abandon all the jokes? Like, I should burn them now.
Yeah, it's like how
they're gone.
it depends
not a
on the
special.
reach, right? Because Heath still does his "kill your ex" joke.
That's 1 minute. If
yeah, it's
you
just
put-
1
if
minute,
you get
though.
An
Like, it's
hour
not that-
special. You can put that shit in there.
Yeah,
That's
or
part of
or
you.
you could
Yeah.
rewrite it. You could respin it. You could add extra tags.
It's
You
your story.
Yeah.
That's not burnt.
reconfigure it. You could do a
You
bunch
didn't
of
get
stuff.
paid
with
for
it.
it. It's not burnt.
But I didn't write that joke specifically for Kill Tony. I wrote it for all the shitty open mics I've ever done.
Well, then
Yeah.
that's a
Like,
perfect
that was
time
my
for
killer
Kill Tony.
ending.
You're at a
for
dunk tank,
yeah.
about to
Yeah.
fall in the water.
And I actually wasn't gonna do that joke because I felt like people would be mad and that they wouldn't like me.
Oh, that murder's right up front.
But it was actually Martin Phillips because I know him from DC.
Yeah.
I was talking to him right before
Friend
I
of
went
the show.
on,
Yeah.
and he
he's
was
been
like,
here.
"You got to do that one." He said that, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
open that way." And there was a moment where I did it and paused and was like, "Oh God, no one's laughing." Like, did I was like, "Did I just fuck this up?" Like,
Martin's coming to our junkyard thing that I was talking to you about at Shakespeare's.
Oh,
My
cool.
brother-in-law's BMW annex yard.
yeah.
That's next year. It's getting closer and closer. I'm
Are we
getting
gonna do yard shows this summer?
I would like you to have a look at this yard
I
here
like
because
that
this
yard.
is where we're
I'm
doing the
down.
practice run.
There's plenty of room for a stage.
Yeah. I just gotta get chairs and shit.
I want to steal old church benches.
Okay.
I had a podcast here for years, and we started doing a South by Southwest comedy show. Do you know what Ariel Isaac Norman is?
Yeah, love that.
She was like, as the last year of the podcast, she was our favorite guest, and she got up there and she had that joke about the nacho dip with the vagina
Yeah.
stuff. Oh my god, it was amazing. But she's
so
fucking
funny.
Oh my god.
When I met her, it was my first week in Austin, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm having my album release party. You should come. Here's the address." And I was
Yeah.
like, "I live there." So she had her album release party at the Trailer Park Oasis where I live.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Martin was here and he did 10 minutes of Star Wars material with us that we're holding it. So we edited an hour episode, but as he keeps getting bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
according to Reddit, we're like, this is just like a stock option.
Yeah, maybe next May the 4th.
should
we're gonna
NFT
send it out, yeah.
But if we put it behind a Patreon or something, we have to give him a piece of it.
Oh man, I love Reddit. Like I love them now because they haven't turned on me. But I did I felt kind of dumb doing it. But the guy that runs the Kill Tony Reddit page was like, "You should do an Ask Me Anything."
Yeah.
And I was like, that feels a little weird, like because that's like for Adam Ray and like people that like did that are like
Yeah.
really
Like the
big.
guests or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, this is weird, right? Like,
Yeah. How do
but
you
I was like,
engage your own cult following?
yeah, but I was like, no one's ever asked me to do anything, so you might as well just say yes to whatever. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it. So I did it, and this one guy writes, he did like a little research about me online, and he writes, how does a broke girl afford to travel the world taking pictures of puddles? And I was like, oh, I love this. So I wrote this like fucking 2-page essay about like all the weird jobs I took, the way I budgeted, like how I did it. And like just wrote this long essay that led into like how I made puddle rugs, which is I take pictures of puddles all around the world and I sell them on rugs.
Yeah.
And like that
You
was
hear that, Daisy? It's your favorite.
making puddles. And it like kind of blew up on Reddit a little bit, and I made some money off of it. And
Well,
I was
that's
like,
excellent.
I fucking love these people. And one of them said like, "What do you think's gonna happen in the future?" I was like, I think all you guys are gonna turn on me. I think this is gonna turn
Probably a
into
good
like
bet.
the Bash
Yeah.
Trish cult.
You get famous off of puddle rugs, and you're like, I have jokes though. Also,
Yeah.
I mean, that would be awesome. I mean, whatever.
sorry, you told a story about doing acid in Ocean City, Maryland, or something.
Oh my god! Did I?
I
I
was just
told that
listening
story
to
on a
it the other
podcast.
day.
Yeah.
Him and I did MDMA. We were gonna go to Ocean City. We didn't make it. We stopped at Kent Island, halfway between like the Maryland,
Kent Island's
all the
funny
shit that
shit,
hangs down
yeah.
into the Chesapeake from
Yeah.
Maryland.
It all
You were
smells
at
weird.
Chincoteague.
Yeah. Which story? I have a lot of acid in Ocean City stories.
You were talking about Chincoteague Island,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which I always
That
mix
one
up with OBX.
That was like I was like 16 in that story.
Because Assateague is in OBX and there's like wild horses and crazy
I was a
mosquitoes.
horrible kid. Yeah. Yeah, there is crazy mosquito. Like we were in a marsh once, and I was like, all these mosquitoes are real, dude.
Those are horse mosquitoes.
Yeah,
They're not for you.
These are
They
real.
murder people. But yeah, we did ecstasy back when it was Mitsubishi pills.
Oh my God, you
The
got those
Mitsubishi
triple stack
pills.
yellow motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
Those shit swamped
Dude,
America.
This guy sold
They were
us.
not just ecstasy, dude. I
No.
tripped on those.
Yeah, there was
like-
H in some of them. Like I was hoping
No,
to make
that
it to
makes
my
sense.
deathbed without doing any heroin, but I
Whatever.
have done heroin because of what was in those pills.
Dude, I talk to people about
And I
those
was like,
pills
it's
all
a
the
really
time.
chill high.
I'm like,
I
were
love
you
it.
doing ecstasy in 2007? Because that shit was wild.
This is 2002.
Yeah.
But yeah, we took. I don't remember what the pills were. They weren't Mitsubishis then. They were nice. Somebody was getting pure MDMA.
No, the
powder.
Mercedes triple stacks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
But we just
God,
decided.
I sound like such a drug addict on your podcast. I swear to God, I'm a productive, normal person.
drug stories are the best. We
Yeah.
got a guy with a studio in his backyard, and I've been going over there doing drug stories over trip hop beats. If you want to come do that
Yes.
sometime,
Yes, I do.
I don't know where we're gonna put it or what we're gonna do with it. It's
Yeah.
fun.
That
So,
sounds great. Yeah.
It's kind of a Hunter Thompson. Type.
There's a lot of like I have written out because like when I do the workshop, right? I'm like, okay, let's go over the jokes that you have, or if you don't have jokes, tell me a story that you usually tell your friends for a laugh.
Yeah.
And what we'll do is if you don't have a joke every 3 sentences, we're either gonna cut sentences or we're gonna write a joke,
Yeah.
right? Like it's either one or the other.
Right.
And I have all these stories that I'm like, I should take my own advice, but I don't know, I can't get through. So I would love to burn some of them on the hip hop
Nice.
beat. That
I
would
should
be
do.
so funny.
I should do my
Yeah.
Coachella stuff. I got lots of Coachella stuff.
Yeah, spoken word kind of.
I was on Molly watching the Tupac hologram.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I mean,
anyway,
it was
even
actually
you ended the
Tupac
story
for
right
you.
there. Like that's a
Yeah,
great story.
For
yeah.
you, it was really Tupac.
yeah, I was like, that's a guy
But
on
yeah,
stage.
It would be so funny if it was him and they just like called it a hologram.
Hey.
We didn't make it to the
Wait, did they make
beach.
it how he looked in the 90s or did they make him look older?
No, they made it look like how he looked in the 90s. It was a CG Tupac. And he said, Coachella! And, it was like early AI times, right?
Yeah.
Whenever they could fake. Imagine what a Tupac hologram would look like now, actually.
Did he have 6
Would have been
fingers?
amazing. I was too far
Did
away.
they put the bullet holes in him?
They should have.
Just
We
pieces
brought
of
him back.
hologram
We used
missing.
black magic to bring him back. We necromanced him.
We are going to bring out the SUV right now and reenact the whole scene.
And now Biggie!
And this is how we prove that P.
Yeah.
Diddy did it.
Thank
But-
you for joining us, Trish. I'm
Yeah,
glad
this was
you're
a lot
Thanks
staying
for
in
coming and
town.
hanging
Thank you
out.
so
Yeah.
much.
I thought you were leaving and we had to get you quick.
You know what's I was actually thinking about texting you that and then I was like, I don't want to like reschedule and whatever. But I really was like, I'm going to leave at the end of May. And then I was like, I'm going to leave at the end of June. And now I'm like, I fucking live here.
We do game streaming here, and the only thing we're missing is a pretty girl.
I know plenty of Twitch
we don't
girls
show
that'll
our
come on
faces
down.
or anything.
No,
So
you
this-
need to come over and watch Go and let's do a commentary.
Okay.
If you've never seen Go, like this, it's right up your alley.
Okay.
It's a movie from 1999.
I never shut the fuck up during movies, so that sounds great.
No, we can just.
We need someone to not do that, to not shut up, because we're trying to make commentaries. We're doing
Great.
Star Wars ones.
I've been told several times I am not.
Again,
a
we
good
don't know
person
where to
watch
put
movies
it. We
with.
can only put it on Plex for our friends to watch.
Yeah.
At this
No,
point.
we can release the track and then have people just say, "Hey, start it here," and then you can watch it with it.
Still pull one.
We can
minute
red letter
clips from
media
it. It's
it.
less than 2 minutes, so it's not
Right.
a copyright.
Yeah. Well, that's
Cool. Well, thanks so much for having me. You can visit IHateTrishSmart.com, or you can visit TrishSmart.com, which forwards to IHateTrishSmart.com.
excellent.
Oh,
And if you're curious about the rugs, it's PuddleRugs.com, not Puddle Rug. That fucker keeps trying to sell me the domain.
Tuesday nights at Shakespeare's.
Yeah. I run it. I do all the programming for Shakespeare's from 7:30 to close.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a burlesque show now. So we have an all-lady lineup, then we do a burlesque show, and then I run comedy bingo, which is a game.
Can I get up and
invented.
show 'em my triple nipple?
Yeah, fuck it. Each week I let one man on, and I do their makeup out front, and we make them a lady.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And what about like Instagram, socials, any of that kind of stuff?
They can all be found on the website, but
Okay.
because I'm not a smart person that made all my handles the same, because like Twitter's Trish Smartass, Instagram's
Well, your
Smart.
site has the strip
Trish.
of logos right up front. You can get all of it right there.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
the
exactly. Yeah.
all
On the
Twitter
website,
stuff.
you could just hit it. And I also thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed to my Patreon. I do absolutely nothing with it, and I never check it. And I was really broke the other day, freaking out, and there was money in it. So love
Excellent.
you guys.
We can cut 10 minutes out of this and give it to you. You can put it on there. How about that?
A special for the Patreon.
Yeah, you want to talk about Star Wars for 10
Yeah.
more minutes?
We're gonna cut out the beginning where we're just talking about pedophile music. This is what you get. You know, I like viciously sneeze all the time. Like I'm just the snottiest bitch in the world because I was traveling so much, and I just couldn't get used to anything. Like you're supposed to eat the local honey or whatever. So I was like, everyone kept asking me about my OnlyFans page, and I don't have one. So I was like, what if I just did one of like me violently sneezing? And I thought that was so funny.
Slow mo?
Yeah,
gotta be
I
into
have
that.
so many. I know. Well, that's the thing that stopped me. Because I was
Yeah.
like, it would be so funny to troll people with this, but then people would get into it, and that would upset
This
me.
would be a new fart
Yeah.
fetish. A
Yeah,
new
I would be
socks
like,
fetish.
fuck this. Like,
And then
fuck
you'd
these
have
people.
all kinds of new people
Yeah, and then
coming
I
up to you on the
wouldn't-
street, and you'd
yeah.
have all kinds of new stalkers.
And then I
how
wouldn't take
moist
it
her
down because
face
I'm
is
making
so
so much
moist.
money resentfully.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Trish? Oh, she ended up marrying some dude that liked to watch her sneeze.
She moved
Welcome
to
to
Dubai
paradise,
and she said,
baby.
Dubai, everybody. I'm in Dubai now.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for
and
having me.
thanks, Trish. And we will talk to you later.
Appreciate it.